Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Toytrain of the Knight Alliance in RuneScape. I have a series of questions I asked a bunch of you to submit here, and I'm going to go over them in just a second. I'm just going to go over them. Let's start with number one. How much time have you played in RS? And I've got 2 or 3 accounts. My first one's from 2009, so not too old. Pretty proud of my total level. My total time played on my main account is 218 days, 22 hours. That's gameplay time. So I don't recommend it to a friend. Would recommend the game, but I play entirely too much, and sometimes I would rather, hey, if I could have my membership money back total so far and my time spent played so far back, I would just say reimburse me and that'd be great. But don't want to bag on the game. It is a great game. I love the game, so let's just continue from there. And I have a screenshot I'm going to put of my time right here. Alright, which NPC would you kill if you could? By Eparthil. Oh, I'm sorry, Eparthil Dan. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I thought about this, and I'm going to go with King Lathis. I think that's how his name is pronounced. He's the king of East Ardennes, and I believe after, was it the Underground Pass quest or Regicide or something like that, you find out that he's trying to resurrect the Dark Lord. So that's either Voldemort or Zamorak, and we can't have that. I'm not a Zamorak fan. I'm sorry, all you Zamorak people. So yeah, I'm gonna go with King Lathis because we never really confronted him, and he's trying to resurrect. We already said this. Alright, so I'm going to go with King Lathis. Number 3. What ideas do you have with regard to changing the landscape with regard to bots? This is from my friend Katie, Omega's Dawn. I'm going to go with stairs. Definitely stairs. Bots hate stairs. Robots hate stairs. Stairs are not good for them. Stairs. Alright, next question. What would I say to the creators, owners of Jagex given the opportunity? Alright, say, first and foremost, I love the game, but microtransactions are not bad per se, but they are bad in this instance. Actually, horrible in this instance. Making our time and efforts purchasable through any means for any reason is not acceptable. That said, we would, however, like emotes, clothing, cosmetics, fun stuff like water balloons and beach balls. There's no reason to have the loyalty program and the squeal program. Or, you know, maybe have them both, but combine them in some respect. Make it so we can get loyalty points on the squeal. You know, make some of the clothing available on the squeal. Do something like that. But I mean, XP lamps, anything worth any real amount of gold, and I'm talking anything worth more than a bucket of milk, or, you know, maybe 1,000 coins is fine, but anything really more than that, and it's just like, come on. I mean, really and truly, everyone can make coins in game, gold. How do you make it? Time. Not necessarily effort, but sometimes effort, but time. Time is everything, and when you're selling our time, which is what that equates to, that's not good by us. That feels really, really horrible. And to anybody that's proud of it, maybe you didn't realize any better. I'm not calling you a lazy player necessarily, but if you do realize this fact, and it's a really easy fact to attribute, then yeah, you're lazy. I mean, maybe you didn't know any better, but either you didn't know any better or you're lazy. I'm going to move on from there. I don't want to make it a huge ranting, whatever. My crowning achievement so far. This is a tough question for me, and it required a bit of thought. I'm proud to be playing even with the hiccups and hangups of Squeal Fortune. I now have 1299s. I like some of them more than some of the others, and I've recently gotten the quest cape. I have what I would consider a decent total level from my time spent playing. I don't know it offhand. You can look me up. My name is Toytrain in game, no spaces or numbers or weird shit. Sorry to any of you people who like numbers and weird shit. But I would have to say absolutely, without a doubt, my crowning achievement would have to have been to help set up our clan in game. I have made many real-life friends, gotten to share my experiences with others, and it's a constant paying reward that can't compare to anything else I've ever achieved. Sincerely, I love all you guys. You're great. I don't know what I would do otherwise. I might have to go outside. Look how pale I am, you know, and that just wouldn't be good for me. Gonna move on to my next question. Number 6. Do I like the current graphics engine by El Gran Matan? He didn't create the graphics engine. I'm not giving him credit for that. Sorry, Jagex. I'm just saying this is his question. Don't misunderstand me. Alright, I'm very happy with it. I don't remember ever complaining about the graphics in RuneScape, really. It's hard to compare to anything else. It's in a league on its own when you consider that it's a browser-based game, and with that, really, you have to compare it to things like Newgrounds, Facebook games, sorry, Neopets, comparing it. See, a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll compare it in the same sentence as WoW. And WoW is WoW. WoW is just a testament to show how good RuneScape really is. If you're comparing to RuneScape to WoW in the same sentence, or ever seen somebody have, and you have, then you just know that RuneScape's awesome. Not necessarily better than WoW, but just to be compared to it all, that's flattering. So sincerely, RuneScape is pretty awesome considering the limitations it has to face and deal with. So number 7. What message would I key into the car of the person who created Squeal of Fortune? Also by Aparthil. Dan. Interesting question. Moving on. Number 8. What would I like to see on the RS homepage? That's also very interesting. Alright, number 9. What do I think will happen to the RS economy after the EOC update? This is by Colgate. Pretty sure. I didn't write her name down here. Alright, I'm going to go very quickly over my notes. I just scribbled something down. I think whips are going to go up. Potentially, because they can be dual-wielded now. Contrarily, though, people are going to anticipate this, and anticipating the raise, stockpiling the item can very well adversely affect the raise. So what I mean to say is, look, you've got all these PKers who potentially have tens or maybe even hundreds of whips in their bank. If it rises, what do you think they're going to do with those whips in their bank? Equip them? No, they're going to sell them, and then it's going to affect the raise. So it could have an adverse reaction there. Or, you know, like I said, people anticipate a raise, they'll buy a bunch of them, like, Fish Mask is going to be 3 billion. I better buy 3 billion of them. So they're like, yeah, it just, you know, it affects the price. It might necessarily not raise. You know, it might still raise, but, you know, it will slow down when people do that. So what I'm saying is just make it up as you go and buy something on impulse, and we'll see how that goes. You guys will let me know how that goes. Gonna go ahead on to the next thing. Claws are gonna drop, obviously, because, you know, rushing is dead. I'm not a PKer myself, but it's clear as day. Not necessarily a bad thing either. I don't want anybody to think that I don't like EOC. EOC seems pretty awesome and promising so far. Change, oh, it's scary. Yeah, grow up. Post some constructive criticism if you don't like it, you know. Say, I don't like this. Don't say I don't like EOC, because you're a little whiny, non-specific crybaby. You're not helping anyone. Maybe you should play another game. Start looking at other games. But sincerely, if you really, really want to make it better, try it and post constructive criticism like, I don't like this particular element. Maybe it were this instead. They do like your ideas. They do want to hear it. They don't want to hear, this sucks. Or unless it's a specific thing that sucks, in which case, knock yourself out. I think God Swords are going to all drop, but they're going to converge. So that's going to say, that's to say that they're all going to approach approximately the same price. Now, I do anticipate that eventually, you know, we need something more than cosmetic appeal there, and either they're going to get rid of all the God Swords and make one of them. This is my guess. They didn't say this yet. Or they're going to add passive abilities to them. And they have stated that it's a possibility that they will add those to some weapons, and I do think that those are prime candidates, don't you think? I mean, we have 4 different God Swords. Oh, they look different! That's got to be like 7 million worth more of gold because this one's blue! No, it's horrible. That's oh man. So they're all going to drop and they're all going to converge to the same price because, you know, it's not enough, not exactly the same price, but approximately. Alright, next, the Royal Crossbow is losing its bleeding effect. Yep, read up on it. It's gonna drop. Maybe not necessarily crash, but it's gonna drop. I believe it's gonna be one-handed and gonna be raised in power though, but that's all I know offhand about that. Enough about weapons, armor. I say buy that Bandos because I've heard nothing but positive feedback about that. And Veros, Derek's, I do anticipate it's gonna drop a little bit, but with the flavorless specials gone, and we're going to have all these adrenaline abilities, it would be nice to have some diversity, so I'm thinking that some of the Barrow sets are actually going to go up. So, I don't know, worth looking at. I do think some of the Barrow sets will rise. Dragonfire Shield, obvious drop. Because, I mean, you can dual wield now, and people want DPS, damage per second, and Dragonfire Shield was one of the most cost-effective ways to raise your damage per second for one-handed weapons, you know, boosting something like Karasi or something, and, you know, effectively raising your damage per second higher than it would if you had purchased a more expensive weapon, and, enough about that. What else do I got here? Amulet of Ranging is going to drop, not necessarily because of Evolution of Combat, sorry if you can't understand because I'm talking too fast. Amulet of Ranging is going to drop because of the new amulets from the Sarah Demine thing, and that's something in itself. It's just not the most effective ranging amulet anymore. It's not going to be useless because the ranging amulet is still pretty damn effective for how much it costs, but I mean, it's going to drop. It is dropping already, so something we'll get. Dragon Pickaxe, Dragon Hatchet are going to raise because you can now power mine and power woodcut more effectively. Enough said. Number 10. What revamps, reworks would I like to see done? I'm going to go with weather and mounts, personally, because there is some weather implemented in the game, like God Wars, outside God Wars dungeon, and if you count those rocks the trolls throw at you, which is pretty entertaining. I like to watch people die there sometime. I'll just sip some tea, and no, I don't do that, but I should. What else we got here? Oh, and mounts. Yeah, I want to ride things. Duh. Alright, what is my next question? Can't find it. Oh, number 11. Am I happy with the performance of Botany Bay? Alright, I have very mixed feelings here. I'm happy that it was implemented, and in my opinion, very overdue. However, it's not as awesome as it was promised and stated to be. It was stated to be able to render any bots as neutered, and it's very clear today as day that they still own the streets. In all fairness, how do you contend with two companies who are in it for the money and their own livelihood, who are in all probability automating these things? Sorry, not automating the bots, but let's say for a sec, let's say that the program is so sophisticated that it registers a check and says, hey, look, this one's been banned, this one's offline. Alright, let's make two more just like that, and it'll be a program making bots as they're getting banned, and it could just, you see how quickly, I'm sure all of you, on a daily basis you get private message, get RS Gold 00 /hyphen dot at gold.com, discount will be provided, something, drop your pants. I don't know. But I mean, you see how clearly, I mean, obviously they can make these things, and I gotta assume, you know, it did occur to me that they have to go through Tutorial Island or Tutorial just to be able to private message other players, possibly, not positive on that, but, you know, it's kind of scary when you think about how often they make these bots, so I mean, can they contend with them, get rid of them as often as they can be created? I don't think so. So it's a war we can't afford not to fight, but we can never win, in my opinion. So it's sad but true, and I am on Jagged's side here. I think they're doing very well with what they have. I don't think it's anything that's ever going to be like eradication, you know? So, I mean, it's a huge step forward. That being said, I'm moving on to the next question. What do I consider to be the biggest offense in RuneScape? The smell and drainer. No, the pre-mentioned botting is pretty bad in my book, but overall I think it's got to be about the game experience, and that is to say, take care of the little things, the big things will take care of themselves. I'm talking about spammers, people who crash your spot. I'm talking about unpleasant people in general, ruining the massively multiplayer experience. Damn, I'm out of breath. Maybe with a nicer player pool, we can get the best out of the game, and whoever doesn't want that, I don't want you. Maybe the next time someone was, oh, free GP please, and they're just going up to you and they're not even dancing, and you're like, yo, what the fuck you doing getting in my face? And you know, you can't shoot him because there's no guns in RuneScape yet. So what you do is like, why don't you make your own gold? But instead, why don't we be nicer and be like, you know what, give him some actual advice. And he'll be like, really? All I have to do is go Frost Dragons? And you're like, yep, that's right. And they're like, can you take me there? And you're like, yep. And you tell him to follow you into the wilderness, then you get to kill the guy, and that's the end of my video. Thank you guys for your questions, and I would appreciate any comments, any new questions. And that is it. Thank you for joining me and bearing with me. Thank you. Bye.